this is my people, and I'm pretty excited about being in a collection that has my people. Over here on the right-hand side, the left-hand side, it says search the collection. Now I've gone from searching all those collections, all 1,430, to just in the Ohio deaths. And that's a pretty clever thing to be able to do. And maybe I just want to see, I just found some Odins. Maybe I just want to click on the parents, and I want to type in Odin, and I want to type in Martha. The first name is butchered a lot of times, and so I just want to put in there. Notice I'm not putting any name here. I'm not putting any dates or places at this time. I'm just searching with a name for the last name of the husband and a first name for the mother. FamilySearch has such a unique search engine that it will bring up Martha or Maddie. See right here is Maddie and Martha. I didn't have a last name. You can see that there are 11. Anything below the brown line you still need to look at, because it could be an instead of the name, it could be an initial, or the Odin could be with an O-A-N, or in the different areas. You can see all these different ones. Why is this cool? Levin and Martha are who I'm looking for, and their daughter Olive, maybe I didn't have her married name, now I do, Ford. You can see those different areas. Same with Ivanella, it gives her last name as Horn-Hinton, and yet these are my people right here with this thing. Over here is a drop-down arrow. If you click on it, it will bring you a view like that so you can see if you want to go into it. You can click it again and it goes away. Any of these, well, you can see that the images are here. Let's scan down to the bottom and see if anybody has anything of value. Always make sure you check, because it might be a name that was hard to index or hard to read, or just a difficult spellings. Let's pop back over to the home page. So let's do a parent search. I know that Dad's name was Lacey. Whoops. And I know the mom's name was Roberts. And I'm just going to search that way. No name, no place, no date. No first name of the people. We're going to get a lot of hits on this. Got 36. That's a lot less than I thought. You can see that it brings up all the different areas. And I happen to know that it's Illinois. So I'm going to go to this Illinois birth collection. You can see there's no image. That does not mean there's not an image available. Right there is your, this one happens to be a source film number right there. That would help pull the film to actually get a copy of the original. And there's always lots more on the originals that are there. You can click on Search the Collection. That means we'll be searching just the Illinois births and christening. This is kind of fun. Let's say that maybe I'm in Illinois and I know that, and maybe the birthplace was Pearl. I searched with no name, no date, no people. And why would I want to do that? Maybe I have looked and I know for a fact they never left, and yet nothing, and I can't find it. So that's when I start doing this kind of a search and start seeing if it's an indexing error. I never knock an indexer. As far as I'm concerned, they're one of the best gifts that we have, but what they have to work with sometimes is pretty poor. And so I'm pretty excited about our indexers and all the work that they do, just because they want to help bring this work faster to us. You can see the different names. You can go over here and see what would make that weird. What would make there? You can see there's Bristow and there's Bristow, Rednall. So you start looking for names that just don't work and you just don't fit. You can also do a fun thing. You could say, okay, let's do a birth year. You can click on birth year and you can say, let's go to the 1800s. Well, we still have 2,190. You can go back down here and click on that birth year again and say, I'm looking for somebody that was born in 1840. And it brings up these ones below the line. And a lot of times this pertains to a child or whatever, but it's bringing up these names below that are in possibly not Pearl, but just Illinois. Yeah, it's just bringing up the ones that are in Illinois. That's why it's not above the blue line, because I put specifically Pearl. I could go ahead and I could put Montezuma. And these are people that are just born in Montezuma, Pike County, Illinois. You can just see all the reasons you can look at them. Sometimes you're looking at one and you're thinking, I would have never found that without using the thing. Once again, I'm not even using names. I'm just searching places. I could say I know for a fact his name was John. And then I'm shrunk down. You see this D-A-R-R-I-E-L? Could be Daniel. You just keep looking down here and you see the different spellings that are, you're just looking for what you're, what could be wrong? What was the letters hard to read? Was it difficult? Sasberry, chef, just a different name. That's the search feature that will help you dig it out. Maybe you knew her name was Ellen. And you can just see it brings up middle name. It brings it up here. Now this site is pretty unique. This site will bring up if it's Catherine with a K or Catherine with a C or Katie or Katrina. It will bring all those names with the search of Catherine. Ancestry, which is another site that I absolutely love. You can use wildcards. You can use wildcards on this site as well, and question marks. So you could put, if you didn't know if it was a Vance or a Wanch, you could put a question mark at the beginning letter, and you can use that on Ancestry as well as here. And you can just see that you can wildcard. A wildcard would be ELL wildcard. It's not as necessary on FamilySearch because FamilySearch has a built-in search engine that will seek after those different spellings, which is really a nice feature. Let's go ahead and go back. So let's say that you're working in Crimplesham. Maybe you're looking for a specific place. In the birthplace, you could just type in Crimplesham and search. Now it's searching all those collections just for the town of Crimplesham. You can see there's 17 million. That's a lot. I know the name is Crane. Let's hit enter. We're down to 18,000. We can even go down here below and we can say we're looking for females. And that filters down a little more. We could say we know we could use the filter down here and say we were looking for people that were just born in the year 1800. But we could also go up here and we could put, we know she was born about 1820 to 1825. Now we're down to 5,000, and we know her name is Ellen. So you can whittle down those, and you can see that it brings up something that might be, something that sounds like Ellen, Ellen, Ellen. This is bringing up censuses. Maybe I don't want a census. Right over here is our word type. Maybe I want a marriage. Now you got to remember, always remember those browse image only collections are not included in these searches because they are not indexed. These are brought to us strictly by indexing. So it's you've got to remember that. You can see that it's taken us from Crimplesham, which I had. It's below the brown line, which means Crimplesham is no longer there, but Norfolk is the second area. So we have Ellen here and that record. No image. There's no camera. Here we have an image. Let's click on it and see what we get. And we actually have the image. You can blow it up over here so you can read it. And it will look at it. That's with an image collection. Let's go home. Let's say that we in a collection like the Illinois or death or whatever. You can sometimes search with like the surname of Sackett. Let's just go Sackett. And let's put the birthplace is Illinois. And the parent name, this is the mother's name was Rachel Mahala. And you can see it will bring up with the mother search. Let's change this to Stouffer. And let's go down here and add Sackett. This is going to bring up censuses. It's going to bring up all the different collections that that combination of word is in. You can see that we pick up the sons. These are this Illinois death and stillbirths 1916 to 1947 do not have the images, but they do have really great data on them. You can see the different spellings. There's Mihaela, Mihaly, Mihaela, and yet her name is Rachel Mihaela. If I would have searched with just Rachel, let's show you what happens. It goes below the brown line, and if you look, she would probably show up down there. You can see the different areas. Maybe I knew it was Adams. Sometimes you have to filter them out because sometimes we don't know as much as we think we know. You can see that. You see how they do that? They can use if they cannot read it. You can see the different thought process there. So let's go home. So let's say that you said, okay, Rootsonomy has a Skype page. I don't know how many of you are Skype users, but we have a Skype page where we help everyone. I'm the moderator, and one of the moderators. We all kind of pitch in and play. But if you said to me, Jan, I really want to find a Pennsylvania probate, then I would go to All Record Collections. In the search window, I would type in Pennsylvania, and when you just start typing barely start typing, it starts bringing up the collections. You can see that we have 14 collections. You can also see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 browse image only collections, which means these aren't in the indexing. We can click on the, if we click over here, you can see that there are 3,197,552 images. That's just to give you a little bit of taste of how large that collection is. And you've got to remember that even though this says Pennsylvania probate, your county may not be on yet. Your county may not have allowed the filming to happen. I wouldn't know without looking at the catalog. But you can see that the Pennsylvania probates is a very large collection. So what they do is what they call waypointing. I like to think of it as pointing the way. It points me to the way. I'm not going to look at 3 million records. It's just not going to happen. I might look at, as this collection up here, I'm looking for one name. There's 1,048 of 1,740, and yes, I've looked at all 1,048, and we'll continue to look to see if that name is in there. Some of them don't have an index. Some of them have an index. It just doesn't make sense. That's this collection. So I'm trying to outsmart this collection.